program that highlights the latest trends in culture, faith, and family. You'll hear insightful interviews with a biblical worldview application. The Stand Radio, Saturdays at 4 p.m. and Sundays at 8 p.m. Central on American Family Radio.
This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840.
A fellow who recently swallowed a dictionary. He said it was the sorest his throat had ever been. Thesaurus.
Oh, really, Tim?
The world's shortest commercial flight is only 47 seconds. So
And we don't have time for stowing. Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Trivia Friday here on American Family Radio. We are live. How could you do a trivia show without being live, really? Huh?
Yeah, you couldn't, not for people calling in.
Yeah. Last week we couldn't be live because we had an ice storm hit our area, and so many of our employees could not make it into the office, so we had to scramble. So we put a hilarious highlights on there. So hope everybody enjoyed that. Good morning, Ed.
Hey, good morning, Tim.
Morning, JJ.
good morning. I just want to say that green is my favorite color. I like green better than blue and yellow combined.
That's
Better
not
than
bad.
blue and yellow combined.
That's not
Get it?
bad. Yep.
Take you
not
back
bad.
to elementary school, looking at that old color wheel.
That's right. Trivia Friday it is on American Family Radio, also known as
Learning University.
Learning University's on the air. What are we doing next hour and 24 minutes, Ed?
Well, as you put it, we're educating.
Yes, we are.
We have students who are listening. Hopefully their pencils have all been sharpened. To our students,
Number two.
Your pencil's supposed to be
Number two
sharpened
pencils.
when the bell rings. It's supposed to be sharpened. No, it's Trivia Friday, which means that the three professors, that be us, we're going to ask three questions each. If you do a little bit of the old-timey math, that's 9 questions total. I'm not sure what kind of answer Common Core would come up with that, but so we're challenging you, our students. Call in to answer and then ask a question, and here's the phone number if you'd like to do that. 888.
Excuse me, but
Yeah.
who qualifies? Is it anybody if they call last week or?
No, they if they have gotten on the air with us in the last 8 weeks, we ask you to wait a week. Now, we technically can't prove if you were on the air with us
Your
7 weeks
it's
ago.
honor system.
It's an honor system. Be an honest person.
Have some honor, people.
That's right. So if you've been on the air with us in the last 8 weeks, please wait a week. We also limit it to 11 years old and above. And so here's the number to call, 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. Now, JJ, there's something special about one of the 9 questions we're going to challenge our listeners with.
One of these 9 questions is the mystery question, and if you happen to land on it and answer it correctly, you'll hear this sound. The beloved cowbell. That means you win yourself a nice stainless steel AFR mug.
Yeah, and I'm balancing.
Tim's about to balance it. Now, folks who are watching us online, and I'll explain how you can do that in a second, we'll see Tim is balancing the coffee mug, one of the coffee mugs, not the one we'd send you if you win, but it is an AFR stainless steel coffee mug, and that's not only you balancing it, you're turning in your chair while you do it. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Folks, the amount of skill that you will see on this show is just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who wish they could see this, and who wouldn't?
How can
frankly,
you watch me balance it?
A grown man
I'm gonna balance
balancing
it
a
for
cup.
15 more seconds.
That's right.
If you're watching on Facebook Live for today's issues, you'll see me balancing this stainless steel travel mug.
That's right.
Then he's going to cut a woman in half and pull a rabbit out of a hat.
We're on YouTube too, aren't we? And
we are.
And we're on our own Facebook. Our own streaming.afa.net. Streaming.afa.net. If you missed it, ladies and gentlemen, I'll do it again next week, Lord willing.
While we're getting a lot of preliminary things, if I can make mention, February the 3rd, Wild Game Lunch at Crossroads Church in Fulton, Mississippi. February the 6th.
This is places you're going to be speaking. We're just not making church announcements for America.
Well, also, I've got a washer and dryer for sale, and I want to make mention that soybeans are up
Third
20 cents a bushel.
Third caller, I got this fishing lure
We're not just
I've
making,
used for 20 years. It'll catch the biggest bass dinner.
not just making church.
Crossroads Church in Fulton, Mississippi, wild game lunch February the 3rd. February the 6th, a pregnancy resource center banquet, which this is a Tuesday night, February the 6th, Ripley, Mississippi. My choices. And Miss Terry Stanford, the executive director, wants people to know there are only 40 seats left because 460 people have registered, and it only holds 500. So she said they're going to go quickly. If you wanted to come, you need to let them know.
And we need 4 more nursery workers.
That's right.
And then lastly, I got an exciting thing coming up in Arkansas. It is for the Fishers of Men Ministries, Rocky Point Baptist Church, night of comedy, and there's going to be a auction, music, everything. February the 10th. Hey, and it is right down the road from Bald Knob, Arkansas. So I feel like I'm going to be in hog heaven, a Kentucky hillbilly to be with some Arkansas hillbillies. Rocky Point Baptist Church in Judsonia, Arkansas.
Now, that first one you said was a wild game lunch.
Yes.
I've never seen a wild game lunch. That seems like it would be a little bit dangerous. You go back to work after a wild
Well, it's
game
Saturday.
lunch.
No,
it's Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'm with you. I've never gone to one, usually wild game supper, wild game dinner. But, yeah, it's going to be a good time for men to get together. So thank you for letting me do that. And I'm going to stop. Sorry, all these commercials. But I mentioned about the pro-life banquet. We have had this week a campaign for preborn ministry, and we're trying to reach a goal. This is the last day. Well, I think over the weekend we'll be active, but a real push since January is Sanctity of Human Life Month. They're the largest provider of free ultrasounds to pregnancy centers across the nation, and you can go to afr.net, to make a donation.
Hey, you can watch our show on, if you want to watch the show, streaming.afa.net. Streaming.afa.net. Facebook Live, type in today's issues, and we're back on YouTube. Brent, what is it? What do they need to do to find us on YouTube for today's issues?
Today's Issues live stream.
Okay, there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Trivia Friday on American Family Radio, and we're about to give our 3 questions. Go ahead, Ed.
All right. First question. If you are enjoying the gloaming on your porch, what are you enjoying? If you are enjoying the gloaming on your porch, what are you enjoying? Second question. Some of us have had MRIs at a hospital. What does MRI stand for? What does MRI stand for?
Hey, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Is the first word medieval?
I thought MRI was them rations that them army men broke open. After they run out of regular food, they said, we're going to eat these MRIs.
Medieval. Now, I have been to a hospital or two where that probably is what the first letter stands for. Third question, true or false? The planet Mars was first given its name by NASA in 1956. The planet Mars was first given its name by NASA in 1956. Is that true or false? All right, that's what I've got.
Here's what I've got. Start out with a Bible question / a part riddle. What was Moses' father-in-law's name? And it has something to do with ciphering. What was Moses' father-in-law's name? And it has something to do with ciphering. Second question, what is another name for a footrest? What is another name for a footrest? Third question, true or false? A baby crocodile is called a croclet. Is that true or false? A baby crocodile is named a croclet. Croclet, Davy Croclet. Oh, no, wait, that's something altogether different.
Did you say Moses's?
Moses is like I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. Yeah, you can get stuck there if you're not careful. Get in that groove.
A loop. It's a vicious loop, vicious circle.
Moses.
I never really know how to, the Joneses. We're trying to keep up with the Joneses.
All right, here are my 3 questions. Number 1, what is the most common cat found in the wild in the U.S.? Okay, in the wild. This isn't like a domestic cat, a pet. I'm talking about you go out in the woods, go out in the forest. What are you going to find most common in the U.S.? What is the most common cat found in the wild in the United States? Number 2, staying in the animal kingdom here. For 30 years, the Labrador Retriever was the most popular dog in the U.S. However, in the year 2022, another breed replaced Labs at number 1.
No, say it ain't
Yep.
so.
No. And they're usually named Muhammad, right?
I think you got a
I don't know.
whole different category there.
Yeah, I think you switched over to human.
Knockbod.
But anyway, this particular dog breed, after 30 years, has now replaced the Lab, at least in 2022, as the number 1 most popular dog breed among Americans. Now, my 3rd question is, what was the most popular children's TV shows in the? It's the 3-part answer. Okay, so I need all 3 of them in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
So most popular in the 50s, most popular in the 60s, most popular.
Yes, three different answers, and I need all 3 to be correct. And so what was the most popular children's TV shows in the 50s, 60s, and 70s? All right, I'm ready, Ed. Let's go.
All right, we're going to go to Texas to start things off, and Len is on with us. Len, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hey, 4 times a charm.
There you go.
All right.
Mm-hmm. That last time I was running by the new Tesla factory in Austin on the toll road about 85 mile an hour. I think and somebody popped off with, "We got white noise," and Tim said something. You didn't have to make it racial.
Yeah, try to keep us above the fray.
Yeah.
There.
Hey, I got a real quick question for Tim.
Bring it.
I'm going to try to stump you. What month in 63 were you born?
What month in 63 was I born? I was born in March.
Well, I'm going to ask you to respect your elders. I just had mine Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
standing up right now as you walk into the room.
He is standing up.
Yes, sir. Want to respect my elders. Absolutely. So you were born in 63 too. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well,
January 23rd.
Okay. Well, congratulations and happy birthday, man.
That's right.
You made it to
sir. Appreciate
60.
it.
Huh? No, you made
61.
61. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, sir. Yep.
All right. You want to ask, answer, or do both, Len?
Let's try both.
All right. Which one do
I'm
you want to try
gonna go
to
with
answer?
Tim's. I'm gonna try to Tim's cat question.
The cat question is, what is the most common cat found in the wild in the U.S.?
Well, we got them all over down here in South Texas. I'm gonna say bobcat.
Bobcat.
Oh, nicely
Yep,
done.
Yep. So you got bobcats everywhere down there?
Oh man, they're thick down here, bro. I'm
Yeah.
down around Victoria.
Yeah.
It's 88.5 that
Uh-huh.
y'all playing over. I grew up in Port Aransas, a little island by Corpus Christi, but it got Californicated.
Listen, I was surprised at
Oh, my.
how strong bobcats are. I saw a video just this week, and it killed and dragged off a fawn, a baby deer.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
And I was thinking that,
Oh, yeah.
birds and mice, but this thing killed a fawn. It was
Well,
probably,
they're pretty good. They're not a house cat.
Yeah.
They're pretty good size.
Oh no, they're awesome to watch them catch a quail midair.
Well,
Yeah.
well, there are. Yeah, it's by far the most popular cat in the wild. I don't know if you would call that a big cat or not. Probably it's a smaller to mid-size.
Yeah, I mean some of them get fairly big, but
Yeah.
they're medium size.
But
I guess.
there are. I was researching this. There are the jaguar is basically extinct in the U.S. There was a few in Arizona. There is the mountain lion.
Right.
There's a few of those around. But those are few and far between. So, but the bobcats are all over the place.
Here's the deal. You sit around a construction site or you go camping and sit around the fire And before too long, somebody's going to tell you about a Black Panther they seen. Alabama, Florida, Mississippi, everybody's had a second cousin twice removed that had seen a Black Panther or heard it scream out in the night like a woman that was being harmed.
Oh, man.
And I'll just say this. This is a sore subject between my wife and I. I'm just being absolutely serious. She says she saw one when her and some friends they were kids. I look things up and I go, I don't think there's any Black Panthers in Mississippi. And so my wife and I never talk about this.
Look, so at this point, I turn to the jury. That old Earl turns to the jury and say, "I rest my case," even with the humor.
Yes.
Hey,
all right.
man, thanks. Have a great weekend.
Well, he's got a
Oh, yeah, you got a question
for us. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask, man.
Yeah, go
but
ahead.
the Black Panther thing, we got a camp out in the middle of nowhere in B County, and my brother for years kept saying he kept seeing a Black Panther. I said, okay, Brett, smoke another one, until I saw it. I mean, you see them, and then they're gone, man. So,
Oh, you saw it?
Anyway,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, what's your question for us?
I want the guy's proper name of a guy. He was a U-boat commander in World War II. He snuck into a British naval base and sunk the battleship Oak Royal. And I can give you a couple hints if you need.
We need some hints, but now Ed is our military history aficionado.
I like it, but I am not an expert. I'm just
Give us a couple of hints to get us going in the right direction.
He had a nickname of the Bull of Scapa Flow.
That helps.
That
That narrowed it right down there.
that was a.
The naval,
He was also
the naval
a
base
professional.
was-
Well, he was a professional wrestler on
After he retired.
on Memphis
From-
TV. He used to take on Jerry Lawler,
Jerry King Lawler.
Yeah.
hey, we don't know, Len. You stumped
What's
us.
the answer?
Well, the naval base was in Scotland. Scapa Flow. The nickname was Bull of Scapa Flow, and his proper name was Gunther Prine or Preen. You got to remember, I'm from South Texas here.
Yeah, right. What is it? Do you know that name?
No,
though,
I've
Ed?
never heard that name.
Okay, all right. Hey, thank you, brother Lynn. Appreciate it, man. That was Brother Lynn from Texas. You're listening to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. A little military history there.
Yeah.
Provided by Lynn, and we learned something right there.
And we
Absolutely.
confirmed that everybody's got a Panther story. Black
Yeah,
Panther
everybody's got a
story.
Panther story.
I've heard
That's
people
right.
say it.
Yeah, go. Who's next?
All
Ed?
right, we go to Virginia, and Mark is on the line. Mark, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hello, professors.
Hey, brother Mark. Thanks for calling. Where you live in Virginia?
Near to Richmond.
And Mark is our listener who has friends that have bird brains.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be kind,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
true.
All right. Hey, Mark, welcome back, and welcome back to your friends there in the background. You want to ask, answer, or do both?
Both, please.
All right, which one you want to try to answer?
I would like to answer the one about Moses.
Hey, Mark, I got a question for you, brother. I just can't help
Yeah.
myself. Are you wearing some kind of protection? Okay.
These aren't violent birds.
No,
But he's
I ain't
doing
talking about that
he's
kind
not
of
talking
protection.
about that. He's talking about being a statue.
Yeah, I'm talking about a
doing
rain-
an imitation of a statue.
Yeah, I'm talking
or
about a
car.
raincoat
Or
type
car
thing.
hood.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Hey, here's the question, Mark. What is it? And it's part question and part a little bit of a riddle. What was Moses' father-in-law's name? And it has something to do with ciphering.
Okay, his name was Jethro.
Jethro.
Way to
That's
go,
right.
Mark.
And in the Message Bible, it talks about the cement pond and some. Oh no, maybe not. Well, he actually had two names, but one of the names that he went by was three if you count Bubba. But Jethro, that other name, Bubba, the nickname. But you're exactly right. Moses' father-in-law's name was Jethro.
Well done, Mark. What's your question for us?
Okay, so my question for you is a true or false question, and it's true or false. A rabbit can sleep with its eyes open.
A rabbit can sleep with its eyes open.
100% true.
I'm gonna go with JJ on this. There's such,
I would say
they
it'd
have-
be a necessity
yeah.
for a rabbit, and because a rabbit's that's a prime rib for for a lot
About
of
20 different
For,
things.
Yeah.
for Bobcats.
And Black Panthers.
Yeah.
All right, we're going
Drew.
with JJ and True.
Yes, you're correct.
All right.
All
Go
right,
us.
Mark, go get
Yeah,
some bird seed, get all those things, take them out and walk them, feed them, give them water, and you continue to have a great new year. Thanks for listening to AFR.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. So rabbits sleep with their eyes open, huh?
I guess so.
I've never seen a rabbit, sit still for very long, So
We have rabbits around our house, just in the wild, and and you can get pretty close to a rabbit if they're used to people, and they'll stay really still. But I've never seen one sleeping.
Here's the deal. Let me tell you how this all got started. In the rabbit kingdom, there was this one rabbit who took out a huge life insurance. And his it was 10 times what any normal rabbit would have. And his agent just told him, said, I'm going to be straight up with you. He said, you need to sleep with both eyes open. And that's the rest of the story.
that's how that started. All right, let's take another phone call, Ed.
All right, what do you say we go to Illinois?
Fine with that. Flattest state in America.
And Cammie is on the line. Cammie, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thanks for having me. And I may disagree with the greatest state in the union here.
I said
I can
flattest.
move away from Illinois.
Anyway, I said flattest, Cammie.
Flattest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we had that question. I had that question.
More flat than Florida?
Yeah, I had that question a year ago, and Florida and Kansas are pretty flat, but Illinois was the flattest state in the U.S.
More than Kansas or Florida. That's remarkable.
Yeah, I know. Well, they press it down a lot. They work on that.
Got
you
more
got your
people.
bulldozers.
That's
you get out
right.
there. Anyway, Cammie, what did you? Go ahead.
Ask, answer, or do both, Cammie.
I would like to do both, and I'm thinking I might know the footstool one.
Okay, Cammie, here's the question. What is another name for a footstool? And it's not a basset hound for my Kentucky friends. What is another name for a footstool?
Would it be toadstool?
Nope. Good try,
Nope.
though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I remembered that from
let me
childhood,
correct myself because I remember this now. Florida is the flattest state, JJ, but Illinois is the second flattest state in the U.S.
Wow,
Illinois.
more than Kansas.
Yep,
That's one
yep.
of those Flint Hills is what knocked them off
Yeah.
knocked them out of the race.
Plus, they have more Black Panthers per capita than any other
Illinois.
state.
Everybody
in the
knows
union.
that.
Bada boom.
Yes. Hey, what's your question for us, Cammie?
Okay, so today, January 26th, is a pretty significant day for me. I had 2 children born on this day, different years, and my birth state also became a state on this day in 1837. Can you tell me which state that is?
Okay, Cammie, I'm sensing you're a Midwesterner. Is that right? You were born and raised?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hey, good. That was really
Yeah.
good. That online detective course. So you didn't think it was going to pay off? That paid off right there.
So can you eliminate Illinois?
Yeah, it's
Cammie?
not Illinois
Yeah.
because she was.
Okay. All right.
Not Illinois.
Sorry. Say. Go ahead. Talk to us some more.
I was going to say it became the 26th state on January 26th, 1837.
Well, guys, we can stay like in the Midwest. We're not going out west, so that's going to help. Throw out
Goodness
one.
gracious.
How about Ohio?
I'm
What do you guys think about Ohio?
I'm thinking northern Ohio or Michigan.
I'm going to say Missouri.
Yeah. What is it, Cammie?
Tim, you got it. It's Michigan.
Nicely
Yeah.
done,
Yeah.
Tim.
Ooh, about the
Nicely done.
So you were born where were you born in Michigan?
Actually, I'm a Lions fan because I was born in Pontiac, Michigan, and that's where the Silverdome used to be.
That's right. Pontiac, Michigan. And the Lions are playing in the
Detroit
got a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
They're pretty serious
Yeah.
playing.
That's in the book
I'm
of
excited.
That's in the book of Revelation.
As a sign of the
If
time.
the Lions win and go to the Super Bowl, the end is near.
Thanks, Cammie.
Thanks, Cammie.
We'll be back momentarily with more.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildman.
The 13-year-old youngster was on his way home to a small, modest farmhouse in Kansas. But he skinned his knee in a briar patch. It wasn't much to fuss about, just a small scratch. He went on home and went about his chores without mentioning it to his parents. The next day he noticed that his ankle was swelling a little and that his leg was a little sore, but he still didn't mention it as he went about his farm duties. The next morning, the leg was in bad shape, and when his parents came in from town that afternoon, they immediately sent for the doctor. After the doctor had examined the leg and saw the danger, he muttered to the parents that there wasn't much chance to save the leg. The youngster didn't quite understand what the doctor meant, so he asked him. And the doctor said there was a very strong possibility that they would have to amputate the leg. "No, you won't," cried out the boy. "You won't cut off my leg. I would rather die." Well, the doctor looked at the boy and became kind of irritated with his attitude. He stepped outside the door and was talking with the parents when the boy's voice called out, "Ed, Ed, come here." The older brother, hearing the cries of the boy, went past the doctor and the parents into the room. They listened as the boys talked. "Ed, if I go out of my head and lose my senses, don't you let them do it. Don't let them cut off my leg while I'm unconscious. Promise me, Ed. You've got to give me your word." Well, the doctor didn't hear much more of the conversation because he began talking to the parents again. "That's just about like a bunch of fool boys," he said. Shortly after that, Ed came out of the room. He stood in the door, legs spread apart and arms folded. The message was clear. The leg would not come off. The doctor tried to talk to the parents, but they told the doctor they would look at the leg again that night. They did look at the leg again, and it was worse. The boy's fever went up, and the doctor told them that if he didn't amputate, there was a strong possibility the boy would die. But Ed stood his ground, staying in the door around the clock. He'd given his word. The family, realizing Ed's determination, began to pray for the boy's leg to heal. The family were devout Christians. Mother and father, then Ed, and finally the other four brothers all took turns praying. Throughout the night there was someone praying. When morning came and the doctor looked at the leg, he saw a sign that the leg was beginning to heal. The swelling was going down. Well, in a few days the leg was completely healed, and the young farm boy was back at his chores and hobbies. Years later, when Dwight David Eisenhower was elected President of the United States, a reporter remarked to his mother that she must be mighty proud of her son. With Ed in mind, her reply was, "Which one?" Simple faith is sometimes stronger than medical science.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildman, a production of the American Family Association.
The LGBT movement isn't new. Since 1968, it's been making its way into the Christian church, and now we're seeing parts of the church starting to affirm the quote-unquote gay Christian lifestyle. How did we get here? In the book Dangerous Affirmation, author M.D. Perkins sheds light on how Christians are being lured away from God's truth and calls us to faithfulness to God's design. You can get the ebook version of Dangerous Affirmation today at resources.afa.net.
For we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven, not built by human hands. 2 Corinthians 5:1.
American Family Radio.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. The weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race to you. These days are
That was a show in the 70s about the 50s.
Yes, that's right.
Hey.
The Fonz.
The Fonz.
You know, our last caller was
Cammie.
Cammie. She's calling from Illinois, and she asked us to guess where was she saying today's the day? Yes, today.
Yes,
she had
yeah.
2 of her children born on this day, and this day was the day that
Michigan became
her
a
birth
state.
state.
Michigan.
Pretty
And
cool.
she asked us to guess on that. And I guessed by her accent because this is true. I've been around so many people, especially on our tours, that from all over the country. I can generally get close to where they're from.
Oh,
just by hearing them talk, and I can usually people even in the South. It's just a gift, I guess.
yes.
I don't know. I mean, I don't like to brag about it. You know what I'm saying? But it's a gift, and I can generally tell, even if they're from, let's say, the South, I can tell if they're from East Tennessee or
Alabama,
Louisiana,
Georgia.
or Lower Alabama.
Yeah.
So,
I remember. I know this is true of you because we saw that Lucky Charms commercial, and you could tell right off the bat that leprechaun was from Ireland. I was blown away.
Well,
I was.
like I say, I don't like to talk about it much because you don't want to brag on yourself.
No,
Right.
That's right.
Right. All right, let's go ahead with it and repeat our questions, guys.
Okay, here are my 3. If you are enjoying the gloaming on your porch, what are you enjoying?
It doesn't star Jack Nicholson.
No, that's right. Here's Johnny.
And do you need an exterminator?
That's second question. You might get an MRI at the hospital if you need it, but what does MRI stand for? And no, like Tim said, the first letter does not stand for medieval. Third question. The planet Mars was first given its name by NASA in 1956. Is that true or false?
I've got a friend who once said, so you know what an EKG is, and you know what an MRI is. He said, do you know what an EGG is? And I thought, no, I don't. He said, it's an egg. And, of course, one of my smart alecky friends, no surprise there, an EGG. Hey, here's what I've got. First question, what is another name for a footrest? What is another name for a footrest? Second question, true or false? A baby crocodile is named a croclet. Is that true or false? A baby crocodile is called a croclet. Third question, a new one. What is the name of shellfish that cling to the bottom of ships? What is the name of shellfish that cling to the bottom of ships?
That's just not much of a life right there. Huh? Even in the animal kingdom.
That's right. That's pretty low on the ladder.
Working 9 to 5. Just headed in. Cling to the bottom of this ship once again.
All right, my 3 questions. Number 1, let's see. The Bobcat question was answered. So I want to know I tell you what, for a AFR stainless steel travel mug.
Here we go.
We'll send you an AFR stainless steel travel mug to you if you can get this correct. And
without looking it up?
Yeah, without looking it up. If you just know it, okay? And that is this. I want, you got to give 3 answers to this one question. What was the most, or I guess what were, the most popular children's television shows in the 50s, 60s, and 70s? So there are 3 different shows. In the 50s, this was the most popular, 60s and 70s. Got that? Now, my second question is, for 30 years in the U.S., the Labrador Retriever was the most popular dog breed. In 2022, this breed replaced it at number 1 among Americans. And I want to know what the name of the new number 1 dog breed is, at least in 2022.
And they used to name that dog Michael, but it got knocked off as King of the Hill. And so now you can't even do that.
Right. Back to my names question.
That's right.
What's the most popular names? All right, Trivia Friday it is on American Family Radio, also known as Learning University. Learning University rolls on. Who's next, Ed?
We go to Georgia, and Joey is on the line. Joey, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hey, Joey. How you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm pretty good. It's good to be on. I wanted to ask and answer.
Okay,
All right.
where do you live in Georgia? I'm just curious.
South Georgia. People always immediately think Atlanta. We are like 3 hours from Atlanta, about.
Like Waycross, Valdosta. Where?
Close to that. Also, you heard of Moultrie, Georgia?
Yes, I have. Mm-hmm.
We are in Moultrie.
Okay, but you're not on. Are you on the interstate there? 70.
No, not quite.
75, isn't it? 75.
It's 75. We're about 30 minutes from 75.
I got you. Well, ask, answer, or both.
Both.
Which one you want to answer? Which one you want to answer?
The shellfish that cling to the bottom of the ship.
Here's
All right,
here's
JJ.
the question. What is the name of shellfish that cling to the bottom of ships?
I believe those would be barnacles.
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 Nicely done.
Barnacles.
Right.
Are shellfish. They're shellfish, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
knew
they
the
were
answer
just-
to that because I watched SpongeBob.
Do people eat barnacles? Like they do shrimp or
They're not. I don't
clams
think they're
or
big enough for that.
Oysters or
They're really tiny.
escargot.
They're
Yeah,
really-
I don't know. And I'm surprised that they were living organisms. I just assumed it was like, I don't know,
Like-
mold or
yeah.
something, water mold or just crust.
how they reproduce?
Don't know that either.
I don't want to discuss it on the air.
Okay. Well, tell me after the show's over.
Hey, good job there, Joey. What's your question for us?
My question is, I'll take one from the Bible. Paul was preaching in a town called Troas, and what was the name? He went long with his sermon, and unfortunately, a young man fell asleep and was pronounced dead. What was Paul later, of course, raised him from the dead? What was the name of that young man that just started snoring on the Apostle Paul?
He was snoring.
He was sitting in a window,
Right.
a couple stories up,
remember
fell
the
asleep,
story.
and fell. I think Paul preached all night long, and then he went and prayed for him, as Joey said, and raised him from the dead. But it does give his name, and I don't remember his name. Ed, you're the pastor. among us.
I'm not sure. The Eutychus comes to mind, but I don't think that's. I don't think
Eutychus?
That's right. Yeah. What do you know?
No, I'll go with you on
Yeah.
Eutychus. Go with your first gut.
This is my gut feeling, but I don't think.
All right,
that's
Joey, is Ed right?
It was actually Eutychus.
Eutychus.
Hey,
Ed.
Yeah, Ed, you're
I was
the
close
pastor.
there,
though.
brother.
Yes,
I was
sir.
there.
Yeah.
How do you spell that, Joey?
Eutychus, I guess.
Yeah.
Tychus.
Ed just
No,
did the
no.
Southern Hebrew pronunciation.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Joey.
Have a
Great
great
question.
weekend.
You have a great weekend. Thanks for calling Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. It's hard getting when somebody's only named one time.
Yeah.
Right in the Bible.
Oh,
It's
I'm
hard.
surprised. That's amazing you
Yeah,
got
you did.
that, because that's something you don't preach a sermon on necessarily and remember his name.
They were just rattling around in there, along with the bull of Scapa Flow. Just couldn't get to it.
Next up.
All right, we go to Alabama. And
With a
Dottie.
banjo on our head or not?
That's right. No, banjoless. Dottie is on the line. Dottie, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Good morning.
Good morning
Hey,
to you.
Dottie, where are you calling from in Alabama?
Mobile, West Mobile to be precise.
Oh, yeah.
West Mobile. So you're almost in Mississippi then. You're not too far. What?
Pretty much, yeah.
10 miles or something like that?
Yep.
Well, thanks for calling. And you want to ask, answer, or both?
I'll do both.
Okay. Which one do you want to answer?
The dog question.
Okay. The question that Dottie's going to answer is as follows. For 30 years, the Labrador Retriever breed was the most popular in the U.S. In 2022, a new breed comes on the scene and replaces the Labs at number one. What is that?
The French Bulldog.
The French Bulldog.
What?
Yes, the French Bulldog. Do you have one?
No, I can't stand to look at them, but but I know people who have them.
Well, are you a mailman? Do you deliver mail? Because that's,
Can't stand to look at them.
Yeah, that'd be the right response.
I got just a little background on this. The French Bulldog has been climbing in the ranks in the popularity for 10 years, and this is according to the American Kennel Association, American Kennel Club, that they are now number one. Now that was 2022. Labrador may have replaced them in 2023. I don't know, but French Bulldogs are very, very popular now.
Now, what was that 10 years ago? That dog, they just did some breeding, crossbreeding. You came up with a dog that had a human face. And it had blue eyes and smile at you and just looked like one of your relatives. Is it Labradoodle? What was that dog that looked?
JJ, that was an episode of Twilight Zone.
No, there is a dog that nearly looks human, at least his eyes. But is that Labradoodle that I'm thinking about?
I don't.
Sounds like something you'd see after eating too many barnacles.
Dottie, do you know anybody? You know anybody that has a French? Do you have a dog at all, Dottie?
I have 3.
Oh, what do you have? What kind do you have?
A toy poodle, a Shih Tzu poodle, and a mixed breed.
Okay.
Now, Dottie,
adopted.
Does that ring a bell about what I said? One of those dogs that almost got a human face.
I've seen a picture, but I've
right. The blue eyes.
I'd hate to see one in person. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you adopt like rescue dogs, that kind of thing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good for you.
All right. Well, what's your question for us?
I just want to tell you, Dottie, my wife did that did that rescue dogs until I put my foot down and put a stop to it after 41 years of marriage.
Oh my goodness!
No, that's how long it took me.
she did. You're Diane.
We don't anymore. She just.
But you did that for a long time.
Yeah, she did.
Home.
She did.
Yeah.
She's got a.
She basically gave up just because it was so much work, and we're getting up there in years. So.
She easily has her heartstrings pulled, right?
Oh, she would.
Yeah.
She stops for turtles crossing the road.
Yeah, Dottie does
gets
too.
them across. So.
All right, Dottie, go ahead. You have a question for us? Go ahead.
I do. It's a riddle, actually.
All right.
Okay, so the person who made it doesn't need it. The person who bought it doesn't want it. The person who needs it doesn't know it. What is it?
It's a casket.
How did you get that on the first
JJ, way to go.
You know, we've
had that before.
JJ and Tim are masters of the riddle.
Yeah, I used riddles for a year on the show, so I remember the answers to a lot of them. That's we heard, but repeat it again because
yeah, that's good to know. Somebody might want to share that, just for fun today, in a morbid kind of way.
Yeah, well, I work for a funeral home on the weekend, so I see a lot of them. The person who made it doesn't need it. The person who bought it doesn't want it. The person who needs it doesn't know it. What is it?
The casket. Okay, I got you. Well, listen, thanks, Dottie. You take care. Appreciate you calling today. You're listening to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. If you want to send us an email, you can do so at comments@afr.net, comments@afr.net. If you want to listen to this show again on a podcast or any of the other trivia shows we've done in the last year or so, all you need to do is go to afr.net, click on the podcast, then click on Trivia Friday, and Shazam, to borrow from Gomer Powell. Shazam. You will have access to a lot of our Trivia Friday shows today and from the past. All right, Ed, who's up next?
Well, now we go to Michigan, and Kathy is on the line. Kathy, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hey, how are you today?
Good. Thank you for calling, Kathy. Appreciate it. Where do you live in Michigan?
Grand Rapids area.
Okay. I have some good friends in Fremont, and
okay.
Yeah, and let's see. But anyway, thanks for calling.
Kathy, were you aware that your state became a state on this day in history?
I just learned that just a few minutes ago. That's interesting.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind putting your hand over your heart. And then a little later on today, if you want to do an interpretive dance, you don't have to get completely carried away, but celebrate somehow in your own special way.
All right.
My interpretive dance might scare a few people.
One of my best friends grew up in Grand Rapids.
Oh, all right.
All right. Anyway, Kathy, go ahead. Ask, answer, or both.
Real quick, while I was waiting, I was looking up about the barnacles and learned a few things, that they're hermaphrodites, where they're male and female. And so they mate with a barnacle that's nearby them. That could be a couple inches away. So you can fill in the blank after that.
So they don't go far for a date. That's what you're saying.
Kind of like an arranged marriage there. well,
kind of like that.
She's right next door. That's your wife. We'll introduce you. All right, Kathy. What question you want to answer?
So the question is on the MRI.
Okay, here's the question, Kathy. You might get an MRI at the hospital. What does MRI stand for?
It's a magnetic resonating image.
Hey! Wow!
Hey, I good got it. Wow, cool.
So you know what that music means?
I'm sure do.
All right.
Yeah, you won yourself a nice stainless steel
travel mug.
Travel mug from the Cowbell, not music, more of a sound. Congratulations. That's wonderful. Kathy, stay on the line.
Thank you.
So that we can get your mailing address, but wonderful.
Do you work in healthcare, or do you just know that answer?
No, I've had a couple of them.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, I want to.
I thought it was so it's not. I had Medieval Revival Institute. Is that even? Did I even have one word right?
That's where you get the leeches, isn't it?
Medieval Revival Institute.
Hey, I want to go back to something that Kathy said. We all, the three professors, we know this show is mostly for entertainment. But as I travel, people come up and say it's their number one favorite show of all over all the network. But they say, and I actually learn a lot. I've learned so much. Kathy proved that while she was in the queue waiting for us to answer her call. She Googled to see about barnacles,
right?
And well, what do you know? I learned something, and she taught us. But so many of these questions, it really is. We laugh about it, but it really is educational.
Yeah,
we've all learned.
I learn stuff every week.
So what does MRI mean again? Tell us again, Ed.
Magnetic resonating imaging.
Gotcha.
Or image. All right, Kathy, what's your question for us? And again, like JJ said, make sure you stay on your phone. When we get through on the air, we'll put you on hold. Cindy Roberts will come on and get your information, and we will send you in the mail a brand new AFR travel mug. All right, what's your question for us?
Great. This was some time ago. I was reading some trivia about football, about the players. Which player has to wear the largest helmet?
Wow, I didn't know football players had different sized helmets besides, the size of their head. But you're saying by position?
All right, Kathy, don't say anything.
All right,
we're going to talk amongst ourselves.
It's going to be the center or maybe the quarterback, because the quarterback has such special protection now that they say you can't sack the quarterback in a rough way, roughing the quarterback. So does he have a little more protection?
Well, I would think for that reason, and they have hearing equipment inside, so the coach can communicate to the quarterback.
You can also do an MRI with these new helmets. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, huh?
But now, though, it seems like the quarterback's helmet is smaller. It looks a little bit streamlined so they can have a little better field of vision.
I don't know.
I'm going to say the center.
I'm going to say the quarterback. You got a different
one or the other.
All right, Kathy, what's the answer?
Your first guess was right.
Quarterback?
Which one?
The one with the largest head. No, the one with the largest head.
Oh,
wow.
That's
trick
question.
Nicely done. And
but I got it.
Yeah, you got it.
That's right.
And she let us wax
Yeah. Laugh the whole time at it, didn't you, Kathy?
Yeah.
Nice, Kathy. Nicely done.
The debate was interesting.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kathy.
All right, I'm going to put you on hold, so don't go anywhere.
Have a great day.
I lost money on my online detective course, trying to come up with that.
The Detroit Lions are playing in the NFC Championship game this week
against San Francisco.
Yeah, and I think you have to go back like before we were born.
Before
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Back in the 60s,
I don't,
maybe?
Yeah, I don't think the Lions have been in a championship game since before the Super Bowl.
Anyway, so it's for the state of Michigan. I know that Michigan's divided. You have Michigan State fans too, but the University of Michigan wins the national championship in college football, and now the pros, the Detroit Lions are.
And what if they win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, they're well, they got their work cut out for them. They still got to beat them.
Can you imagine how many citizens in Michigan on that day, if that happened? How many people would be doing interpretive dances? I mean, as a whole, just with all the citizens across the entire state.
Good point. Good point, brother. All right, back to the phones, Ed.
All right, we go back to Texas. And Deborah is on the line. Deborah, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thank you, professors. Good to talk to you today.
Thank you, Deborah. Where are you calling from?
Hello. San Angelo, Texas.
Okay, wonderful. Well, listen.
Probably you've asked me before where it is, and
Do you even know where you are?
80. Yes, I do.
Okay.
It's about 80 miles south and west of Abilene.
Yeah, we've had this conversation because I was in Abilene one winter, and she's not too far from the rattlesnake roundup, which is a very real thing.
Correct. Yes, yes. And an important one.
Right.
You don't want to let there be too many of those.
Throw them into the in-ground pool that's, doesn't have any water.
That first meeting, they said, hey, fellas, New York's got the Empire State Building. What do you think we got here?
What do you think we ought to do?
What do you think we ought to do here?
Well, we have rattlesnakes. Well, what can we do with them?
Hey, you're on to something right there.
Well, let's round them up.
All right.
And
anyway.
It's like Forrest Gump. We got fried rattlesnakes. We got rattlesnake-lined boots. We got belts made out of rattlesnake skin.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Deborah, answer, or both?
I'd like to do both.
Okay, which
and
one?
I'd like to answer the Scottish question.
Oh, there we go.
Do you know which one that is?
Wait, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Let Ed ask the question again.
Are you talking about the gloaming question?
She's
yes.
Okay. Here's the question.
Okay,
if you are enjoying the gloaming on your porch, what are you enjoying?
You're enjoying the twilight.
Well, twilight or sunset?
Time of evening.
Yeah.
Now, where is she going with Scottish and twilight and gloaming?
Is that a Scottish word? I didn't even know
It
that.
It is a Scottish word. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And it's in a lot of Celtic songs. Enjoying the gloaming and walking in the gloaming and
singing in the gloaming.
I can't tell you this.
You know, just singing
not gonna do that,
in the gloaming.
Rounding up rattlesnakes in the gloaming.
Right.
That's
A lot of things you can do. Yep. Well, Deborah, good for you. You know your Scottish culture there.
Yeah, you can thank Deborah and thank Ancestry.com.
What's your question for us?
Okay, it worries me a little that you said you have a military expert on there because I thought this was a good question and it may not be that great. In the 20th century, one American city has produced the most Congressional Medal of Honor soldiers. Do you know what it is?
Well, that's very patriotic and very impressive. Yeah, I give a nod to my friend Ed, who he doesn't claim to be an expert, but boy, he loves military history and just knows so much about all these different battles.
What's the question?
One city in America has produced the most Congressional Medal of Honor soldiers in the 20th century. What is it? What city?
Wow.
They're giving me the music.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Houston, Texas.
Yeah, I'll go with Houston.
I'll go with these guys.
What's the answer?
Pueblo, Colorado has had 4 of them. 2 from Korea, 1 from World War II, and 1 from Vietnam, and the Vietnam vet is still alive.
Very impressive.
Pueblo, Colorado.
Hey,
Colorado.
you're right.
Yeah.
You hear the music. Stay on the line. Congratulations on winning the stainless steel travel mug.
Oh, was that her? No, I think that.
Oh, was that the last caller?
Yeah. Thank you, Deborah.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio.
Hey, have you seen the AFR logo canvas duffel bag? There's plenty of room in the main compartment for big stuff, a front pocket for those smaller items, and a mesh pocket for your water bottle to help you stay hydrated. Double reinforced handles and an adjustable shoulder strap make it easy to carry, and the logo on the side is a great way to let others know about AFR. They're available now at resources.afa.net.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. A Georgia state lawmaker is calling for a special committee with subpoena power to investigate prosecutors in the Georgia election interference case against former President Donald Trump. Jonathan Seri has more from Atlanta.
State Senator Greg Dolezal says he wants to get to the bottom of allegations that District Attorney Fonnie Willis hired Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade for the case because of a romantic relationship involving cruises and other travel.
Obviously, if it's strictly a personal relationship, that's not what we're interested in. But to the extent that lines were crossed, ethical lines were crossed, potentially legal lines were crossed, that state funds were used in the furtherance of this, that's what we're interested in finding out.
Former President Trump has joined a motion by co-defendant Mike Roman seeking to disqualify Willis and her office from prosecuting the case. A Trump attorney accuses the DA of wrongfully inserting racial animus into this case during a recent speech at a local church in Atlanta. Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt is one of 25 GOP governors backing Texas Governor Greg Abbott's efforts to resist border agents' access to a park near the Texas-Mexico border as Texas puts up barbed wire fencing there. Governor Stitt says the issue is not political, but a matter of common sense.
What is the Biden administration doing? Why would they talk about federalizing the Texas Guard? Why are they directing Border Patrol? The American people need to ask themselves, why are they directing the Border Patrol to cut razor wire?
A well-known Canadian psychologist has been told to think woke or lose his livelihood. The College of Psychologists of Ontario ordered Jordan Peterson to undergo training on professionalism in public statements or lose his professional license. The regulatory body wants to force Peterson into, quote, re-education because they didn't like some of his social media posts.
I'm in their hands at the moment fundamentally because they've already sentenced me, so to speak, to an indefinite period of social media retraining with some social media expert, whatever that is. And so I'm obliged to undertake that training at my own expense for an indefinite period of time until they, in their wisdom, presume that I've learned whatever it is that I'm supposed to learn, which, given my nature, strikes me as highly unlikely. They're trying to send a larger message to me, my followers, and every professional of any sort in a regulated profession in Canada. And the message is, you do exactly what the low-level, mid-wit bureaucrats tell you, or you will lose your livelihood.
A conservative activist and former presidential candidate says Nikki Haley is all about preserving the Republican establishment. Chad Groening has more.
Nikki Haley has vowed to stay in the GOP presidential race, despite her double-digit defeat by Donald Trump in Tuesday's New Hampshire Republican primary. In an address to supporters, the former UN ambassador said, quote, "This race is far from over. There are dozens of states left to go." Gary Bowers, chairman of the Campaign for Working Families, who ran for president back in 2000. He says deep pockets are keeping her in the race.
Nikki Haley spent $31 million in New Hampshire alone. That is an extraordinary amount of money in a state that size. Where's she getting that money? She's getting that money from billionaires both on the right and the left.
And Bowers says those big donors have an agenda.
They want the Republican Party to be the old Republican Party, the establishment Republican Party, not a populist conservative Republican Party.
So Bowers says she will continue in the race because she's serving that purpose.
And that's very sad, because all she's going to do by doing this is make it more likely that Joe Biden could be reelected this coming November.
I'm Chad Groening.
Stocks are hanging near their record heights as Wall Street heads toward the close of its 12th winning week in the last 13. The S&P 500 edged up by 0.1%, The Dow rose 80 points, and the Nasdaq Composite was down 0.2%. More news online at afn.net and on the AFN mobile app. I'm Rusty Pugh.
What does the American Family Association stand for?
We believe true morality flows from biblical principles and directs people to the manner in which God intends them to live.
These values and more are part of our mission to inform, equip, and activate individuals to strengthen the moral foundations of our culture. We also support the church. We want to be a leading organization in biblical worldview training for cultural transformation. Thank you for standing with us as we seek to stop the erosion of godly values.
This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840. Now, back to more Trivia Friday.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. I'm Tim Wildman with Ed Vitagliano and J.J. Jasper. Thank you for listening to AFR. So we got 24 and a half more minutes of education to bestow upon thee.
We're going to bestow.
Yes.
Two quick commercials. We've been telling you about preborn ministry. It's January Sanctity of Human Life Month. If you can help out, we're winding down our campaign. You can go to afr.net. And also, 8 Days of Hope. They just announced 8 Days of Hope 20, a rebuild effort in Amory, Mississippi. Volunteers are already coming to North Mississippi. We just met Ralph and Mary, who stopped by the station. They're from Sunbury, Ohio, just outside of Columbus. And, boy, we love our listeners, volunteers with 8 Days of Hope. Amen. You can go to 8daysofhope.com. They're only 30 miles from where our flagship station is located, so a lot of people are going to want to come and
they're less
see our
than that.
New building.
They're probably like 10 miles.
He's talking about Amory.
No, I'm talking Amory.
I'm sorry, JJ. I was talking about the 8 Days of Hope headquarters.
Yes.
Yeah, no, the Amory is going to be
Right. No,
25, 28 miles from our flagship station, so please stop by when you come to volunteer. And they need to hear from you, 8daysofhope.com.
Amen.
All right, let's repeat our questions, Ed. Go.
All right, I will add one question because I only have one remaining. The planet Mars was first given its name by NASA in 1956. Is that true or false? And second question, what are the 5 poetic books in the Bible? What are the 5 poetic books in the Bible? There's certain categories for, you have the 4 Gospels, but there are books that are considered the poetic books. There are 5 of them. What are they?
Here's what I've got. First question, true or false? A baby crocodile is called a croclet. Come here, little croclet. Come here, little croclet.
I had some veal croclets one time. That was pretty tasty.
A baby crocodile is named a croclet. Is that true or false? Second question, what is another name for a footrest? Third question, I'll add a new one. This is from the sports world. Who titled his 1989 autobiography, Holy Cow? Who titled his 1989 autobiography, Holy Cow? Nothing to do with Hindus. Go.
Is that it right there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I knew my sports expert friend would know that.
All right, I got one question left. I got 2, but I'm saving the other one for next week.
You are like a cheapskate who goes out to dinner. You are not going to fork over the extra.
I worked
questions
hard for these
when you work
questions.
hard. Yes.
Look, it goes back to the cafeteria. You going to eat the rest of that?
That's right.
Tim, I'm not wasting this.
not
I worked
wasting
too hard on these questions.
All right, here's the question that I have that hasn't been answered, and that is this. It's a 3-part answer, and if you get it correctly, without even having to look it up, I'm going to send you an AFR stainless steel travel mug.
What?
That's right.
Well, that's a hard question, but somebody out there knows it. They're just having trouble getting through.
Mm-hmm. What were the most popular children's television programs in the decades of the 50s, 60s, and 70s? There are 3 different shows, obviously. One was most popular in the 50s, 60s, and then 70s. So if you can answer that question without even looking it up, here comes your travel mug, okay? Coming your way. All right, who's next, Ed?
All right, we go back to Texas, and Melissa is on the line. Melissa, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hey, y'all.
Love that
sounds like
response.
Texas.
That's right. Hey, Melissa, we do a lot of clowning around, but in all seriousness, we're praying for your state. We see the plight. We see the invasion on the southern border. So thankful to see all these other states in solidarity come to defend Texas. God bless you and your governor, and don't mess with Texas.
That's right. Don't mess with Texas.
All right, you want to ask, answer, or both, Melissa?
I would like to do both.
Okay, which one do you want to answer?
Well, I would like to answer the poetic books of the Bible.
Okay, here's the question. What are the 5 poetic books in the Bible, Melissa?
Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Songs of Solomon.
Absolutely. That's
All
it.
right.
Done.
Excellent.
Way to
Hey,
go.
Melissa, way to read your Bible and love God's Word and study the Word. That's wonderful to hear.
What were they again, Melissa? Tell us again. What were they?
They were Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Song of Solomon.
I would have got 3, maybe 4 of those. Job?
In my mind, I'm with you. In my mind, Job doesn't seem to fit with Psalms and Song of Solomon. But the people that
I know, it doesn't seem like it would be poetic. It's sad, isn't it?
right.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, it is a sad book.
Well, let me say this: that was able to make it into that category just by the skin of its teeth.
Yeah. I think maybe what might make it so wonderful is his dedication to God, no matter what.
That's
no matter
right.
what.
Right.
You know, and
Amen.
so that's what it is. But
definitely a lot of lessons
I have
there.
the best job ever. I get to teach these things to children. I'm actually a children's pastor, so I'm
wonderful.
excited to answer something like that I knew.
Amen. Amen.
That's
Keep planting those seeds.
It's a special calling, and we
Yes.
appreciate you, Melissa, and all children's pastors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and All right, so you want to ask us?
I do. Okay, so Pocahontas was baptized after receiving Jesus Christ as her Savior, and she was given an English name. What name is that?
Rebecca.
Oh, man.
Wow, that's Tim Wow.
Very nice.
That's
Wow.
the dean of this here school.
Mm-hmm.
Nicely done.
That probably comes from going on the spiritual heritage tours, right?
Yeah, you go to Jamestown, and there's a statue of Pocahontas there, and the Stephen McDowell. I've heard him tell the story many times, so I do have an.
No, but I'm just encouraging people to go on the spiritual heritage tour because you learn a lot.
Rebecca. Yeah.
Right.
So, but yeah, that was her changed name. Her Christian name was Rebecca. Pocahontas was.
And she was a real person and so instrumental there. The Lord, you talk about an Esther, the Lord raised her up for such a time as this in American history.
Yep. All right, Melissa, thank you very much. And we appreciate you calling. And
thank you for teaching children.
Being on the trivia
Word
program. You're listening to American Family Radio. Next up, Ed.
All right. Texas is killing it today. We'll go back to Texas, and Tom is on the line. Tom, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thanks, guys. It's good to be with you. My first time to call.
Wonderful.
Hey, welcome, Tom. Where do you live in Texas?
I'm in the Houston area.
Okay, like Conroe or the Woodlands or where?
A little place northwest called Cypress.
Okay, yes. Okay. Well, listen, Tom, thanks for calling. And you want to ask, answer, or both?
I want to do both. I left the room briefly. Did someone answer the 5 poetic books in the Bible?
Just before you.
Yeah.
Alyssa did.
Okay.
But
okay. Is the footstool question still available?
It's up for grabs. It's right here resting. Here's the question. What is another name for a footrest? What is another name for a footrest?
I'm going to say Ottoman.
Ottoman. Yeah. And I thought that Ottoman period was something going on in history that Ed would know about, but I guess that was something
I just like
else.
the way
the Ottomans ruled Turkey and the Middle East for
okay. Well, I thought maybe
500
I
years.
got that word wrong.
I like it when the leaves fall.
During Ottoman?
Hey, nicely done. Some of those words we just don't use much, do we, Tom?
No, and it kind of dates us also.
Pull out the ottoman, and while you're at it, honey, bring me my pipe and go get the paper. Have the dog go fetch the paper.
You know, that's really before recliners. Everyone had a chair and an ottoman or a footstool.
Here's the deal. One of the ninth wonders of the world was the lazy boy recliner. You can say what you want about them hanging gardens and pyramids, but when the lazy boy recliner come out, that was a game changer.
All right. All right, Tom, we're ready. Bring it.
Okay, this is true or false. And here's the question. Is a king-size bed mentioned in the Bible?
Yes, it is. It's the manger.
Oh, that's well. No, okay. I'm a little confused. I thought you said it's a true false.
Oh, so it's true.
Yes, true, false. Is a king-size bed mentioned in the Bible? And I'll say a king-size bed as we know it today, not Jesus' manger. Obviously, that's a excellent answer, but this would be more compatible to what we call king-size today.
Yes, it is. And, okay, I'm getting these stories mixed up in my mind, but you've got a story where a guy had 6 fingers and 6 toes on each hand, and it talks about how big his bed was, and he was a king.
That was at the fair.
and that too, if you knock these 3 milk jugs over with a softball, you'd win one of those stuffed animals. But no, it talks about that guy. He was either
from Gath or something.
That's right. I think it ties back to the
Nephilim.
That's right, to the sons of God and the women and the giants. But it mentions that in the Old Testament. Am I in the ballpark there, Tom?
Yes, it is a true statement, and it's found in Deuteronomy 3, verse 11. It's actually Og, king of Bashan. He was one that Moses fought against. And
with the 5 kings against the 4 kings?
Yeah, well, it was, I think, Og and was Bashan, and there was another one there also of Og, but his bed was 13.5 feet long by 6 feet wide.
That's what I'm talking about.
My son-in-law is 6'6", and his bed is that exact same size.
Really?
Keep his ankles from hanging over the. No, not exactly. Hey, thanks for reading your Bible and knowing the Word, Tom. And he was one of the ones that truly got his money's worth out of a pedicure. Pedicure, manicure. Those ladies would say, here he comes again. Man, he always gets us. It's like all-you-can-eat buffet. This guy always.
Like a football player coming in for the all-you-can-eat buffet.
That's right.
All right, Tom, thank you, sir. That was great question. That's very interesting stuff.
Deep dive. Yeah, people that don't think the Bible is interesting, you just need to start reading it because there's intrigue and drama, of course, precepts and principles and lessons, but a lot going on.
All right, we go to Arkansas, and Richard is on the line. Richard, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thank you. I want to ask a question and answer a question both.
All right.
Where do you live in Arkansas, Richard?
Boonville.
Which is near?
Fort Smith.
Oh, Fort Smith.
You're not near Judsonia, then, are you?
No.
Okay.
You're near Van Buren.
A little bit, yeah.
You're closer to Oklahoma.
Like toward Poto?
Right.
Toward Poto?
About 40 miles from the state line.
Y'all are just showing off now.
JJ's been.
Tim is the Rand McNally.
Yeah. JJ's been everywhere, man.
He's the Rand McNally, but you've been everywhere.
Yeah. All right, Richard. I'm sorry. Which one do you want to answer?
He said he wanted to answer or do both.
Which one do you want to answer, Richard?
About the baby crocodile.
Here's the question, Richard. It's true or false? A baby crocodile is called a croclet. Is that true or false?
False.
It is 100% true.
Really?
100% true. A baby crocodile is called a croclet. That sounds like something you would sing in a song to a child or something as a lullaby or in a children's book. That a ferocious alligator or a crocodile, and you're going to put such a sissy name on a croclet. Yeah.
I think you need to double check your answer.
Okay, I go to randomtrivia.com and get those answers, and that's what they said.
JJ, we're all responsible for our own actions.
Well,
Richard, what do you think?
Well, what I was going to say, what they do a lot of times with a flock of this or that, sometimes they'll have like 3 different answers, but it only gave one answer for
what are you saying, Richard?
What do you have, Richard?
Google said it's called a hatchling.
A hatchling.
A hatchling?
Maybe it's called both.
And they don't get, a lot of times they'll do like 3 different answers.
Yeah. I don't. This isn't like something that should divide us as Christians. I don't think.
Right.
But you know, out there somewhere, somebody has started a church.
Church based on croclets.
Yes, you know they have. At least a small
church of the croclets.
A small denomination.
Do they my question is, do they handle croclets during the church service?
Oh, that's good.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Ed's doing some research to try to give me a little.
All right, Richard, what's your question for us?
Where does the name Nike come from the sports company?
Comes from the Greek word Nike, which means overcomer or champion.
Or from the Greek goddess of victory.
Yes.
Good answer.
Yes, Greek goddess.
Hey, thanks, Richard.
Is that related to their swoosh? I wonder their,
the logo.
The logo for Nike. So yeah, that's right. Hey, Richard, thank you for calling, my friend. They're in Boonville, Arkansas. You have a great day, brother.
Yeah, and the original language, you know, it's always a little hard to interpret, but the original meaning is just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
You know,
you're in the original Greek, right?
Yeah, original Greek.
You find an answer to that?
I couldn't find the croclet.
I know a year ago, Alice and I were in the Miami area.
Mm-hmm.
We had to go to a conference down there, and got to do a bucket list event for us, at least for me. Took a boat ride. Just Allison and me and this guide took a boat ride out into the Everglades.
One of those airboats or whatever.
The airboats, like Gentle Ben.
Yeah.
And got to see the alligators in the wild. That was.
And now, when you told that story, I don't know if I ever said anything out loud, but I was thinking, okay, so you went with one guide. What happens if he falls overboard or?
Well, we were still in the boat. Well, I wouldn't go in after him. I'm sorry. You know, I like
occupational hazard.
Well, you know, he knows the risk when he gets up every morning. So I would call somebody. I'm glad to call somebody. Call 911 or whatever.
Glad to call somebody. You just wait there. We'll try to find you.
We're in the Everglades. No, I can't tell you what corner we're on.
But that was really fascinating.
But there's Dollar General nearby.
No, we went up. I mean, the Dollar General. So there were. Oh my word! To see out these alligators out in the wild, you know, in the Everglades, that was something I always wanted to do.
Yes.
In the airboat.
Yes, that's right.
That's right.
And so we were doing that, and then that was really
okay. Now I'm gonna aviator in me. It's actually an airplane engine, and you've got a propeller, and it's like in a cage. Yes, it's in a cage. But you guys had to wear earmuffs.
We did.
Because
right.
that's loud.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's an airplane engine.
Oh, wow.
It's sitting right behind you, and you're skimming over just inches of water.
Yeah.
So you're low-key flying across the Everglades. But to see those alligators.
Oh, we were within 5 feet of these alligators.
Wow.
Of them. I mean, they were right there. I got video right here if you don't believe me.
I believe you.
Okay. But it was fascinating. But I always said, you know, actually, it goes back to Gentle Ben.
Watch it,
on TV, and I see that airboat, you know, and then you'd see, animal shows about this. Yeah. But I always wanted to go since I was 10 years old to the Everglades and see the alligators in the wild, and got to do that.
And that's the kind of thing where Omaha's Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom with Marlon Perkins, he'd be in the boat, and he would send Jim And Jim, my assistant, is
Jim,
going to wrestle this
Jim,
alligator.
my cap blew off. Jim, if you'll dive in there and grab my cap.
Come on, Jim. What's one hippo, man?
You and I have talked.
I'm paying you well.
We've talked about this. He'd be in a little plastic chair that somebody has jerry-rigged, and it's hanging off the fender, and he's just calm as a cucumber saying, here comes these 4,000-pound hippos, a herd of them, and a bunch of crocklets following them, and he's out there, my assistant, and easy does it there. So can you lean out there a little bit farther and get a good picture of that?
Notice how the 30-foot anaconda is constricting, Jim.
Here comes the mother lion. She appears to be upset. Easy, Jim.
Right. Now this is why you need life insurance from Mutual of Omaha, because this could happen to you. All right, who's next?
All right, we go to Mississippi, and Buddy is on the line. Buddy, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Yes, I can laugh. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, and Buddy, we are coming up towards the end of the show. Sorry we were goofing around so much. You want to ask, answer, or do both?
I'll try both.
All right, which one do you want to try to answer?
I'm gonna get the kids. I want the three kids. So,
good, buddy. Okay. In the decades of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, 3 different shows here. What were the most popular children's programs?
I'm going to get 2 of them right, I believe. Okay. That would be Leave It to Beaver. And the next one would be, The Little Rascals. And the third one, I would say, it's going to be a comedy.
Okay, Jim. Hey, buddy. Just real quick, I'll give you 30 seconds I'll give you 30 seconds to rethink this.
He's thinking little children.
Okay, I'm talking about children's programs, not comedies, not sick. Huh?
Oh, well, I thought Leave It to Beaver. That's a children's program.
All right, we can argue about this, buddy. But no, I'm just teasing with you, my friend. Okay, think. All right, I'm just going to tell you. I agree with you. Leave It to Beaver.
Can I guess?
I want to guess too.
Go.
All right, I'm going to say Howdy Doody, Captain Kangaroo, and Sesame Street.
All right. What?
He got them all right.
Okay, I was going to say the one where he took his sweater off. I was going to.
That was Mr. number Rogers. 2 of the 70s.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say what you said, but with.
You see what I'm saying, buddy?
Yeah, I understand it now.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, have a great weekend.
He's got a question.
Oh,
for
yeah,
us.
yeah, you got a question for us.
Run him off. There.
I'll give you an easy one.
All right.
You already had the one with the in the biblical.
Okay, buddy, you gotta hurry up because we are almost out of time.
Okay, Moses was instructed by the man and his father-in-law. What instruction did he give him?
He told him to delegate. He said, "You're overwhelmed with all this.
Yep.
So take you some good God-fearing men."
Yes, sir. Way to go, JJ.
Way to go.
That's right, buddy. Great question, my friend.
Sorry we got to rush you, buddy.
Thank you.
God bless you, and thank you for reading your Bible.
Okay, in the 1950s, Howdy Doody was the most popular children's show. In the 1960s, Captain Kangaroo was the most popular children's show. Captain Kangaroo went on into the 70s, but Sesame Street overtook it as the most popular children's show in America.
Well,
and Mr. Rogers was second.
Well, and for the later years, one of my guesses was Barney. Barney, how did he do?
Yeah.
Because that big
Probably
old...
the
That's not, you're talking 90s.
Oh, is that 90s? Okay.
All right, my lone question, the planet Mars was not given its name by NASA. It was named by the Romans after one of their gods, the god of war.
From the sports world, who titled his 1989 autobiography, Holy Cow?
Harry Carey.
Harry Carey.
Yep.
Holy.
That's all you got left?
Yeah.
What you got, Tim? That it?
That's it. Yep. And I got a question I've saved for next week.
JJ Jasper Official on Facebook to find out and let them know
where you're going to be.
Well, my choices in Ripley, Mississippi, Tuesday night, February the 6th. They only have 40 seats left, and Terry needs to hear from you today. The info is at JJ Jasper Official on Facebook.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for listening to Trivia Friday here on AFR. Well, you can stand where Forrest Gump stood on our tour of Washington, D.C. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Wildman, president of American Family Association and American Family Radio. Jenny, we're going to Washington, D.C. Just kidding there, folks. That was pretty lame, Forrest Gump. But we are going to the Lincoln Memorial.